Hey, what's up, everybody? Frederick Pogue here. So, recently, the media just loves to ask people about the Tesla protest and whether or not vandalism is okay, or if it's violence or a valid form of protest. But I'm going to take a different tack. You know who's ultimately responsible for the vandalism in the Tesla protests? Donald Trump and his Republican enablers. You know why? January 6th. Because they have enabled that form of protest to be valid, that it is okay. You can lay the blame squarely there. Now, I could provide some context, maybe pull out the MLK quote that the riot is the voice of the voiceless, and I could provide the context of, well, this is what happens when your valid form of dissent and civil disobedience is curtailed. When you try to stop protesters from protesting, when you have police in masks and military uniforms show up and grab them in unmarked vehicles, which they did in the Portland protests during his first term. This is what happens. Because let's face it, getting any kind of traction on protesting Trump usually goes nowhere. Oh, but the Tesla protests and protesting Elon Musk, who is now part of the government with Doge, that is having an impact. You can see it on a daily basis as the stock price of Tesla keeps dropping. And so this protest has now become a valid form of protest because of January 6th. Because when Mitch McConnell had a chance to impeach him and hold him accountable, he chose not to. When Jack Smith could have prosecuted him and we could have had a trial about it, the Republican Supreme Court stepped in and said, oh, no, after they delayed it, and then said, oh, no, we decide what's official presidential acts and blah, blah, blah. And they killed it. So when you look at those Tesla protests and you look at the vandalism and you look at all these things that are happening, it's Donald Trump's fault. It's Republicans' fault. Because we did not hold J6ers accountable. Even when they beat cops like Harry Dunn and Michael Fanone and hundreds of others. For all you who are crying now about, oh, law and order, and oh, this shouldn't be happening. These protests, they're violent. You've made violence an acceptable form of protest because we did not hold J6ers accountable. That's that whole, reaping what you sow. That whole value you put back into that you put into the world coming back on you. That whole chickens coming home to roost thing. That's what that is. You want to blame anybody? Blame Trump. Blame the Republicans for not holding J6ers accountable and putting this out in the world as something okay. Because again, after all, they keep talking about it was a day of love, and it was a peaceful form of protest. So you can't get upset at those Tesla protesters because after all, they're just having days of love. They're just having peaceful forms of protest, like our J6ers. And hell, if they weren't wrong, why'd they all get pardoned? Something to think about. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Keep the faith, defend democracy, and I'll see you later.